nest. As the next hadith, Imam Ahmed ibn Hanbal's Musnad mentions that even if it's smaller than a bird's nest, and this is to, of course, there's not going to be a masjid smaller than a bird's nest, right? No one's going to go inside and pray. But it's a metaphorical form to give us an explanation that even if it's a small amount, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reserve a house for him in Jannah. Now, getting a house in Jannah, first of all, getting inside Jannah, it's a challenge of its own. And then finding a house there, a lot of times you can build a better house in Jannah for yourself than you can build one here in this world. And it's easier for you to do that in Jannah than you can do it in this dunya. Because the houses of Jannah, they don't require any physical effort. They only require our actions to be done good. So, whoever builds a house, now it is either you're building it from scratch or you're maintaining it in any capacity. Right? Whether it's cleaning it, whether it's picking up the trash, whether it's, making sure that the house of Allah is kept neat and clean and kept tidy in every aspect of it. In any capacity, you contribute towards maintaining the house of Allah Azza wa Jal, and based on that sincerity that you have, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make a reservation for you for a house in Jannah. Now this makes us understand the smallest amount of deed, if it's done with the proper intention, that deed can go a very long way for this believer. And if you do a very huge and big action, but you lack sincerity in it, they have no value in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So one thing we need to focus, that no matter what we do, whether it's small or big, the first thing that counts in it, it's our intention. The intention is going to make the action valuable. And the intention is going to make the action lose its value. So a lot of times we are mainly focused on doing the amal rather than focusing on for whom we are doing that amal. And in this hadith, Allah Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he is emphasizing for the believers that number one, the house of Allah is the masjid is the house of Allah. And your contribution to the house of Allah should only be for the sake of Allah. Your effort towards the house of Allah should only be for the sake of Allah. Your maintenance towards the house of Allah should be for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jalla. And that includes everybody. A lot of times we have a habit that we see a lot of things are disturbing happening, and some of them happen to be by our own efforts or by our own actions or our kids. Sometimes you see the kid is making a big mess and the father is just standing, make more mess. It doesn't matter, someone else will come and clean it. This type of attitude, what does it do? First of all, it will take the value of the house of Allah away from the hearts of our children, which is a greater disaster than the one that He's creating now. And you are the one that's feeding that. You're the one who's feeding it. Why? Because you're not teaching him the respect and honor of the house of Allah. So when we bring our kids to the masjid, it is very essential and important that we teach them what is the importance of the house of Allah. We're not saying that you shouldn't bring. No, you should bring your kids. But teach them, this is the masjid. This is the area where we come and pray. This is the house of Allah Azza wa Jal. The way we respect and honor our own homes, in greater value, we should respect and honor the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in return, what Allah is giving us, He's making a house for us in Jannah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the value of His house. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us amongst those fortunate people who get this great gift on the Day of Judgment, that we are able to go into Jannah and we are able to reserve a house for ourselves. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Jazakumullah khairan. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta